Hello everyone. Today I thought I would talk about the similarities between baking bread and developing a writing career, because I've been playing around with baking bread lately and have been surprised at the similarities between the two processes. For example, when you first start baking bread or writing, you don't really know what you're doing. So you need a recipe or a template or a genre to follow. And once you find one that you think you can emulate, you just give it a go. The next similarity is that you start off quite simply. So for me, I started off with writing short stories, and with baking bread, I started off with making bread rolls. The other similarity is that you often have the ingredients that you need already in your cupboard. For baking bread, it's just flour, salt, sugar, water, yeast, and for writing, it's life experience. Another similarity is that generally your first creation is not going to be your best. The bread or the story might not turn out exactly how you thought it would be, but hopefully it's good enough to encourage you to try again. So you do, but this time you might experiment a bit more, try to make it more your own. With my second batch of bread rolls, I tried to make them look like hedgehogs, but that didn't turn out so well. So I returned to making them round and focusing on flavour or texture instead. It was the same with writing. After I started winning short story competitions, I experimented more, extended my scope, testing to make sure I had indeed developed a strong narrative voice and skill set. When I still found myself winning, I then knew I was ready to move on to the next stage. For me, with bread, that was loaves, and with writing, that was, of course, novels. Because once you're confident with what you can produce, why not broaden your scope? Still, again, your first attempt is unlikely to be your best. The crust of this loaf was a little too crisp, but it was still so enjoyable to make and so tasty on the inside that another loaf was just around the corner, and that time it was perfect. I guess the key is, whether you're writing or baking bread, you have to find a method that works for you. Then the more you write or bake and the more you experiment and try to make it your own, the more success you're likely to have.